Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my channel. For those of you new to my channel, my name is Jonathan, and for my returning subscribers, welcome back, my friends. Welcome back. One of you left a comment in one of my last videos asking me, should you become a vegetarian? And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. Let's get started. Before I answer the question of whether or not you should become a vegetarian, I have a quick question to ask you guys, and I would love it if you guys would comment that down below. Give me an answer, 4 to 5 sentences, nothing too complicated. What does spirituality mean to you? And for me, spirituality just means continuing to be happy and happier, continuing to bring forth more self-love, self-confidence, self-worth, beginning and continuing to expand my comfort zone, stepping out of my comfort zone for all the right reasons, continuing to create this inner peace, allowing my faith to continue to grow. And not only that, beginning to feel my way forward through life instead of just rationally thinking. And the reason I'm asking you guys to comment this down below is to make you guys realize that we all have the same steps as far as what steps we take as far as our spiritual awakening. But at a certain point, there's literally going to there's going to be a million different forks in the road. And each and every single one of them is the right path. And that's the thing, is once you've had your awakening, the direction you take, how far you go down that rabbit hole, or how spiritual you become is completely up to you. And if right now you're being guided as far as, okay, I really want to make this life change. I've been eating meat for so many years, but now it just doesn't taste good anymore. It just doesn't feel good anymore. I want to do my part, because it's so true. If you want to create peace on earth, it does start on your plate. But you have to look at what is motivating you. Is it someone that's telling you that the only path to enlightenment is to become a vegan or a vegetarian? Or is this coming from within you? Because right now there is this big, huge movement as far as the New Age movement, where a lot of people are talking to other individuals, trying to convert them into becoming vegetarians. And have you guys noticed this during your spiritual journey? I've noticed this so many times. This keeps happening time and time and time again. No matter what's going on in your life right now, you always seem to overshoot everything and then take a couple steps back. You seem to take a couple steps back and you find that perfect balance. And what I'm talking about is the example. After my Kundalini awakening, my vibrations, I was vibing high. Therefore, my empathic abilities got amplified. Before it was just I would sense once in a while different individuals, possibly places, but now all of a sudden I could feel the energy levels of absolutely everything, and I just went crazy. I just literally started getting rid of everything and anything that was lower vibrational than my vibrations. But then after a while, what I started to notice is I got used to vibing that high. I got used to feeling this energy. I started to learn to control it more and more. And the reason I'm saying this is, are you wanting to jump straight into becoming a vegetarian, or is this going to be done over time? Because if you're going to jump right in, all the power to you, and I wish you nothing but success, but you're going to have to start to inform yourself. You're going to have to start to gain some knowledge, because becoming a vegetarian isn't just I'm cutting out the meat. You're going to have to learn, okay, protein, your protein source. Meat is a very high source as far as protein. You're going to have to learn how you're going to get your protein intakes now. Because short term, over a several month period, nothing's really going to change, because you know what? You have fat on your body, and your fat cells has protein, and it has vitamins, it has minerals, it has micronutrients. You know what I mean? Your body's going to be able to survive off of this for a short period of time. But after a certain while, you really don't want to start having any type of deficiencies. So knowledge is power. So if this is the way you're heading down, this is the road you're heading down, what I encourage you to do is start following a nutritionist here on YouTube, or else start reading. Whichever way you like to learn the best. For me, I'm visual. Therefore, it would be, I'm going to start watching a certain YouTuber that's going to give me the knowledge I need. You know what I mean? You're going to learn as far as, let's say, protein. Okay, if you're only becoming vegetarian, vegan is even harder. But if you're becoming a vegetarian, okay, you have milk products, dairy products. You know what I mean? You have milk, cheese, yogurt. You can get it from eggs. You can get it from nuts. You know what I mean? Certain vegetables have it, but I give you an example, beans. You take a can of breakfast beans. There's only 10 grams of protein in breakfast beans, okay? So now, by the time you ingest this, your body's going to be able to extract 7 or 8 grams of the protein out of the 10. You're not, no matter what you consume, if it says something on the label, You're not always going to be able to get it all. So you have to start looking at how you're going to be able to take in that 40, 50 grams of protein. Example, iron. There's lots of iron found in meat. How are you going to be able to make sure that you get your right level of iron each and every single day? You might want to consider, start taking a multivitamin pill. Why not? Start taking a supplement. Therefore, at least it won't give you everything you absolutely need, but it's going to at least give you some of what you need. And also, let's face it, we're not animals. We don't just eat to survive. My cat has been eating the same cat food for like 5 years. He doesn't care. Well, guess what? I like to have flavor. I like to have flavors pop in my mouth. When I eat, it's not just because I'm hungry. It's something that I enjoy doing. Therefore, are you good at cooking with spices? Are you good with cooking with herbs? Are you creative on the dishes that you're going to be able to create? And that's the same thing right there. What I suggest doing, get yourself a couple cooking shows. Start learning different techniques that you're able to prepare these dishes. And one way you can go about it, instead of just straight up jumping into the deep end, what you can do, think about it. Most people, most families only eat one meal together. Most of them, it's supper time. I know right now things are different. So you're around let's say your children and your loved ones all the time. But what you can do, what you can start doing is start eliminating meat. Now, I mean, as far as breakfast, do you really need to have meat during breakfast? Absolutely not. I love doing this. Mixed berries. Take some blueberries, some raspberries, strawberries, cut them up, and then I use a vanilla Greek yogurt. And then let's say, I can't remember the name of the cereal, but it's not Quaker Oats, but it's like granola. And I mix that in right there, and that's what I end up having for breakfast. And then it's the same thing with your lunch. Let's say your lunch, you bring sandwiches to work or school or whatever. And let's say you normally have 4 or 5 pieces of meat. Well, now what you do is put one piece of meat, put a cheese slice, throw some cucumbers, tomatoes, and lettuce, salt, and pepper, and mayo. You know what I mean? You got to start mixing it up. But what I'm saying is, maybe you want to start to reduce your meat intake, or reduce, maybe say, I'm cutting beef completely out. Now it's chicken and fish. You know what I mean? You can take gradual steps, and as long as it continues to feel good, go forward with it. But if it ever starts to become unpleasant, if it ever starts to become like a chore, maybe now's not the right time. And maybe, is maybe limit your meat, but maybe you're not quite ready to go full on vegetarian. And like I've said before, what's really important is, where is this motivation coming from? You know what I mean? Because when you look at spirituality, some individuals, the way that they teach it, they're like, this is the only way to enlightenment. You have to take all these steps, you have to cut all these things, you have to become the holiest of persons in order to become enlightened. But that's the thing, is we all have our own spiritual journey. So just make sure that this is coming from inside. This is just a nice, healthy life change that you're wanting to take, and it's not, you don't have, no other alter motivations, as in, I have to become a vegetarian, therefore I'm going to become enlightened, or I have to become a vegetarian in order to raise up my vibrations to have this happen. It must come natural, it must feel natural, and not only that, it must feel good. I've had many times in my awakening where I would go to the extreme, but at a certain point I was like, as far as meditating, for a while I was meditating about an hour, sometimes an hour and a half a day. And for me, it started to become like a chore, day in, day out, day out. And then, I started to cut back a bit. And I decided, I'm going to start taking more walks. I'm going to, do some light exercises or things of that nature. You know what I mean? It's finding that right balance, because you're going to see that all that you're doing right now, exactly who you are right now, is not who you're going to be in a year from now, in 2 years from now. It's just like certain beliefs you have right now, you're going to totally contradict yourself in a year from now. I've done this over and over again. I just look at example, what I wanted to manifest after, let's say, about 6 months of my awakening, compared to now what I want to have bring forth in my life. It is completely different. But I just go from a place of feeling, follow my intuition, the guidance that I'm receiving in order to move forward. And if you're being guided to, all the power to you, but knowledge is power. Learn about, exactly like I said, about, okay, make sure you get enough proteins, your vitamins, your minerals, your micronutrients, all these things. Learn how to cook up some wonderful feasts, and you're going to see that becoming a vegetarian can taste even better than eating meat. Well, that's going to do it for the video. I'm going to probably post some other videos on this. It's a topic that interests me for sure. But you guys get yourself grounded. Get out in nature. I love you guys. You guys have an incredible day. Namaste.